Hello everybody, this is Peztel and welcome to episode 11 of my Minecraft Let's Play. And if you're wondering why I'm on scaffolding, well, it's because I am terrified of the creepers. They have been tormenting me ever since I've been trying to start building around here, trying to get the stable and the inn just kind of done and get a framework here. But they've actually kind of won against me. See, I was over there just AFK for a bit, just standing around, and I left my computer for a bit, and a creeper came and blew up my stuff. And because that's where I keep my shulkers for now, they also blew up my shulkers, which is okay initially because all it does is just displace the items. But then a second creeper came and then they blew up some of my resource shulkers. Now, I always try to keep my shulkers organized by the color and just how I remember them. I keep gray shulkers to signify that it's a dedicated shulker for just building. And they blew up my shulker for cobblestone and stone and granite. So those shulkers were with me ever since I had them, and now they're gone. So the creepers won there. But I will recover. I won't let the creepers win forever. But here is the horse stable for Hanamuri. I've just kind of completed it all the way around. I've kept the exterior to be open, and I've made the horse holding areas a little bit bigger than what I have over the hill over there, because I made it kind of the same dimension over there. But I've also added trapdoors, and the trapdoors kind of restrict them, and I started to cram a lot of horses in one pen, so hopefully this area is just a little bit more roomy for them, so they're not going to be smushed everywhere. And I've got my first resident over here. It's a... who are you? A donkey? A mule? It's a donkey, yes. And I've got the inn right next to it over here. It's got the same basic design. It's just a rectangular shape, and then it's got an upstairs as well as another shape jutting out of it from the side here, which is the entrance. Now, when I first started building this thing, it feels a little bit unfulfilling. So although the shape of it is kind of indicative of a Japanese style with the roof, it kind of leaves me, unfulfilled as a builder. So when I was initially building this thing, I tried to use different blocks and different textures for the walls just because I wanted something different. Kind of sticking with this simple design where it's just a rectangle, and this is a rectangle, and that's a rectangle, and even over there that's a rectangle if you remove the depth. And that's kind of my solution. But what I did initially was I put so many different textures and colors of blocks for the wall as well as the foundation, thinking that could help with what I was seeing and feeling. But it was a step in the wrong direction. It made the build look messier and dirtier, and it didn't really fit at all. So I went back to kind of what works, and what works for now is this. But as I was saying before, what I was missing, and I think what I'm going to implement in the future, is depth. Depth being maybe the walls would jut out more, maybe they would go in more rather than it being, flat like this. Because it's the same level all the way down. So I could do something like that, although I didn't see that in any reference images that I was looking up. What I did see though is depth in the road, where instead of this being just on the same level, I could instead bring it down a few levels and add more interest into the road. But I can't really do that now because then it would just run into a wall. Because this is already built and it's all on the same Y level. And everything for a large area is already on the same Y level. Whoa, my inventory is full. Yeah, this is all dug out to be on the same Y level. I do have to bring this down and cover this up. But the reason why it's like this is just because I was so unsure of how I could fit this giant farm into place and then decide room for my builds over there. So I've kind of dug myself into a hole-ish. I kind of made it where I'm trapped on the same dimension. I had a feeling this would happen, but I wasn't quite sure because, again, this is just my first time building this place. And I can't really change it anymore unless I want to alter this, and I don't really want to. So Basically, for large builds like redstone farms, I think I will try to keep it as simple as possible to get as much efficiency out of it as I can. But for actual building, I will map out the depth of the terrain first. So I wonder if it's gonna look any better if I actually put in some horsies over there. But when I went to go look at my horses in the first stable, I only have one saddle. I have so many horses, but no saddle. I need these horses for my guests to tour around. So I have a few horses over here, and when I was trying to breed them, I kind of just left them in the same pen. So they're all stuck, except this one. Oh, loner. I think this guy is slow, that's why I didn't breed it. But I have a few more horses, and I try to keep as many skeleton horses as possible. Maybe I'll go take one of these. Another thing I noticed is that I have some skeleton horses over here. I guess the 4 horsemen spawned, and they probably just died in the sunlight, but they're trampling all over my wheat field. Hey there, guy. I got you a friend. Maybe if I stick you both in here, you'll both feel happier? Well, there's definitely enough room for at least 2. Could possibly even do a 3rd one. I don't know, we'll see. But I don't even have enough saddles for my horsies. I gotta get a leather worker really soon, which means I have to deal with villagers. But enough horsing around, let's get back to other things that are happening on the server, and I guess for the whole entirety of Minecraft, and that is the 1.16 Nether update. Now, there was a poll to decide what would happen on the server for the upcoming reset, whether it's a partial reset or a full reset, and the results were extremely close, but it was decided for a full reset on the server. Now, this means we're going to have to rebuild any farms, especially if they're public. We're going to have to rebuild the hub and rebuild all the tunnels. Now, currently, there's some designs just floating around by the members of the server trying to decide how we could rebuild a hub. And actually, I think the designs right now, there's been a decision kind of unanimously to build the new hub and the tunnels on the roof to trying to keep the new nether terrain generation available for people to roam around in and enjoy, as well as just minimize any kind of gas spawning that could happen and destroy the tunnels. Now, I wasn't here for the construction of the initial tunnels, but from what I hear, gas spawning is a real issue when building these things, so having it on the roof would definitely help. Now, besides designing new public infrastructure for the server, I have prepared for the upcoming update. I have on me fire protection armor and blast protection armor. Now, fire protection is, of course, because it's in the nether and there's lava everywhere. Now, I do plan on having fire resistance on me, but if there was ever a chance where I was just in between effects and I land into lava or touch lava, the damage that comes from it will be greatly reduced, and this will help with that. But if I'm mining for netherite, I will be using the blast protection armor that I have here. And if you guys don't already know, the netherite block, which is ancient debris to be mined, is blast resistant, which makes it ideal for blast mining to get easy access. So when I'm traveling through the nether, I'll be using fire protection, and I'll be having this golden helmet for when I encounter piglins. But for when I'm mining, I shouldn't really need fire protection because I'll only be exposed to the smaller pockets of lava, and then I can use blast protection. So, after a lot of tests by the hardworking people that run the server and making sure that all the major plugins are functional, we will be updating to the 1.16 Nether